Previously
on D&D.
Kinda.
So you all brandish your weapons, run out of the room, and follow Frances into the kitchen, in which she flings open the door to the outside. You see everyone that was in the Chamber of the Seals just standing out in that grassy area overlooking all of Neverwinter. What you guys see is there are just buildings that are on fire. There are people yelling and screaming. It's just chaos. There's just disarray all over the place. You see a plume, dark clouds just beginning to circle the Nobleman's Keep.
Wait, look, the Nobleman's Keep. You boys want to do something stupid?
Yes, true.
I am going to turn into a pterodactyl, and then you will ride me up to the clouds.
There's obviously something in the keep that's fucky, so we're going in the front door.
So you land in the courtyard in front of the...
Yeah, in front of the keep.
You land, and all of you kind of climb out of the Quetzalcoatl spandex, and this is the first time you've been back here with Frances. And at this moment, there is just a blinding flash of light and an explosion, and there is a beam of fire and just cloud and just what looks like blood and dust just explode from the clouds just into the ground. And then as soon as that happens, there's a pillar of wider fire that shoots up out of the ground, engulfing that other pillar, and just blows the doors off of the keep. And the walls just come tumbling down as brick and fire and just molten rock and everything just shoot out from all directions. The dust begins to settle in the area, and you just hear a deep, guttural, sinister laughter. And you see just a figure begin to walk out of the archway. And then Lokar steps forward and he says one word.
Velka?
Bartholonude, Hamilton, and Benedict. You are all standing at the base of what used to be the Nobleman's Keep. Essentially, all that's left are the stairs and the archway in which Velka has just started to walk.
So this building is not handicap accessible?
It is not.
Well, that's
people just get carried up there by the guards.
It's going to be an issue.
Could you just not be lazy for like 5 seconds?
I'm gonna have to.
Also, maybe you just don't have to go up there.
I'm going to have to call OSHA now. Just letting you know.
So you know they're getting
Just
called.
letting you know. You're fucked. I hope you know that.
Let's fucking call away.
You have to make a deception check when they get there. So you're all standing in front of the staircase as this tall human with long hair that looks very much like Topher, except he has a very distinctive mark in his hair. Different color kind of flowing down one side of it. And he has a huge greatsword on his back. And he's just wearing long brown robes. And he just kind of walks down, and you see Lokar step forward, and he walks forward. And what do you guys do? You guys are kind of out of range from where they're at. You're standing back, and Lokar shows up, and then he kind of walks forward out of your guys' like, not line of sight, but you guys wouldn't be able to hear anything as they are getting closer.
Can you paint a little bit of a picture of like what the scene around us looks like, what colors and lights there are?
So I would say behind where the staircase is, it's just like a crater right now. There's just fire and smoke left, and you can see through like the billows of smoke just like maybe various surviving brick structures, or not brick but more like stone structures. And it's just like a decimated castle, like just nothing left. And just smoke and flames behind this. And then around you guys are standing in the courtyard, which is pretty much at this point covered in just ash. And it's still just falling all around you, so your visibility is just heavily skewed. And then behind you, you just, on top of what you were hearing before with this, the kind of disarray and, everything just getting torn apart and people just spreading just like various different kinds of just lies and rumors and just, the end of the world is here, all this kind of crazy stuff. Now all that's just been exacerbated by what just took place because, this was like the center, the capital of this great city, and it's just blown out of the water from within, it looks like. So
They should have just got the vaccine.
oh my gosh.
So Bartholonude pulls out his halberd and casts Thunderous Smite on his halberd.
Okay.
And as he does, he pulls it out with his one hand, and the tip of the halberd's pointing toward the ground off to the side, and the base of the pole arm's kind of going up behind him. And he begins to walk forward toward Topher as he casts Thunderous Smite.
Topher?
Toward the figure that resembles Topher.
Velka?
Do we know that person's name?
So,
Kinda.
Lokar said
Lokar
it. when
said
she-
it.
Lokar said Velka, so we assume that this is Velka, or
Would we know? Would
So-
our characters? That's
I
so
think
you,
Lokar
you wouldn't know
told
him
us
by the
story.
sight, but yes, Josh is right.
Lokar
Lokar
told
told
us the story.
you the
okay.
story. of
I
what
couldn't
happened.
remember if we heard that as characters
Yeah.
or like if we heard that as players.
Yeah, Lokar told you guys that the first time you guys were in the chamber. So, all right. So you cast Thundering Smite and you start walking that way.
yeah, but it's like one of those walks where it's like a slow, pacey walk, and I'm holding my weapon out to the side. And Bartholonude is just trying to play my character that he used to be an entertainer, so he has like a little bit of showmanship about him. So like ashes are falling around him, the smoke of the burning buildings is giving like a fog to the general area, and the fires are illuminating that fog. So he just feels like kind of a badass as he casts Thunderous Smite on his halberd and just slowly steps toward this figure.
Okay. So as you get closer, why don't you make a perception check for me?
18.
All right. So with an 18, whenever you get closer, you can start to hear the conversation that's taking place because what it appears to be happening is that you saw Lokar step forward towards this individual coming down the stairs, and you heard him say Velka, and then he started to walk towards the fire and the ash as this individual started to walk down the stairs. Then he said his name, and you guys kind of get caught up, and that's whenever you guys remembered the name and all that kind of stuff. So your characters are starting to feel like you have an idea of at least who this guy is, and he's not good. For your recollection, Velka tricked Lokar into essentially being the demise of Selen on the battlefield before he was able to be sealed away, even though Selen fell at Lokar's hands. And because of Lokar, it was still because of what Selen did that sacrificed herself. So essentially, Selen used her body as the catalyst to form the physical seal that holds Ball in place.
Yeah.
Now, all this kind of comes back around to you guys as you guys hear that name and you think about those things, and you see Lokar, who has had interaction with him, step towards you. Start to hear Bartholonude, the conversation that's taking place between them. And you as you get closer, you can hear muttering, and then you hear Velka speak directly to Lokar. And the only thing you hear is Lokar talking, and then you hear Velka interrupt and say,
I no longer have any use for you. You have outlived your purpose and far beyond that.
and then as you see this, or as you hear him say this, from the stairs and the fire, you see what's left of this stone archway just get enveloped in this lava, this dark lava that starts to pour up and then spew over what's left of the top of the archway and the staircase, and it starts to flow down the staircase slowly and just forms around Velka, and Velka lifts his hand up quickly around Lokar's neck, and Lokar is fighting it, but it just doesn't seem like he has any ability to stop what's happening. And as this lava pool like swirls around Velka and it just kind of goes around him as if it's completely missing him, it lifts itself up, forming this like mutilated body, and then it just opens up, and then Velka just throws Lokar into like a pit of this lava, and it just splashes down on top of him, and Lokar is nowhere to be seen. What do you guys do?
I want to prepare myself for battle. I want to cast
Oh shit.
Investitude of Flame on myself, and what that gives me is flames race across your body, shedding a bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet for the spell's duration, which is up to 10 minutes. The flames don't harm you until the spell ends. You gain the following benefits. You're immune to fire damage and have resistance to cold damage. Any creature that moves within 5 feet of you for the first time on a turn or end its turn there takes 1d10 fire damage. And you can choose your action to create a line of fire 15 feet long and 5 feet wide, extending from you in a direction that I choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 4d8 fire damage on a failed save,
Nice.
or half as much on a successful.
Okay.
I'm casting that on myself.
Nice.
So I'm a little flamey druid right now.
Okay. So Bartholonude's approaching. You see this. Bartholonude, do you do anything different when you see this? Do you stop or you just keep walking?
When I see Benedict fire, or when I
he's
see
behind
Velka
you.
get thrown,
When you see Velka throw Lokar.
I'm walking toward him, and he throws Velka throws Lokar down into this, into the shapeshifters, what he believes to be the shapeshifters, because when the shapeshifters had like transformed before, it made that black reddish lava. So I assumed that's what that was. And then Benedict kind of blows up behind Bartholonude, and Bartholonude continues his trek forward and tightens his grip on his halberd.
I cast True Strike
On
myself.
yourself?
Yeah.
Fill us in and what that does?
You point a finger at a target in range. Your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses. On your next turn, you gain advantage on your first attack roll against the target.
Okay. So you're casting that on yourself for what's about to happen, essentially. Just preparing.
Mainly because of the insight into the target's defenses. I'm just trying to get an idea of, if this goes south, what my next move will be.
Well, I'll go ahead and give you that now, just because this might be something that Hamilton might be pretty in tune to, just based off your connection to like Cthulhu, and he might have like some guidance that could help you here. I would say your intuition here is that whatever this is, it's evil, and given that the seal was below the keep, and it came from what just happened at the keep, that something with some type of radiant damage would be very effective. What's about to happen?
Yes. It is time.
That is unfortunate for me, an eldritch spellcaster.
Now, you don't know that, so act normal until he at least decides he wants to communicate that
Benedict
information.
is not excited, still flaming.
Very flaming. Very much flaming.
Oh, also, am I close enough to Bartholonude or Benedict to be able to touch them?
I would say Benedict, yes. I think Bartholonude is walked out of range.
If you touch me, you have to cast a Constitution save. Sorry.
Never mind then. I was going to cast guidance on you, but
Oh, well, fuck.
yeah, never
I
mind.
guess I should have waited to get fucking flame flames.
Checking now to see
He
if
doesn't
I
have guidance.
just
He's throw
just
guy
guys
fire
who
like,
use
what do I do?
It cannot be guided.
Well, technically, when we got here, we were level 8, and then now we're just level 12, and I'm just fucking, oh my god!
He just turned into Super Saiyan immediately.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything that is radiant damage.
Do you
Would
have
I- so-
Moonbeam?
Would I know? Never mind.
Okay.
So I do want to say though that I want to pass that information on to Bartholonude and Benedict as a thought.
You're gonna do that?
Give us what they're hearing in their head.
I don't even know that I would say anything. Just as I get that knowledge from my True Strike divination. I'm just like kind of porting that into their head, I guess.
Hey, what? I will let that free flow happen to Benedict, because that line of communication's probably been pretty open for a while. But I don't think you've done that yet with Bartholonude. I don't think that's
fair.
actually taken place. So make an Arcana check for me to see if we can.
Do I need to make one of those as well?
No, not you. Just Hamilton, because like I said, it's been well established in lore that's happened for you guys, but for you two, between Bartholonude and Hamilton, there hasn't been like that open line of communication formed.
24.
Oh yeah. So what does he hear in his head whenever you first knock? Because this is going to be his first time like
His true feelings.
hearing you mentally. So this is like he's knocking on your door.
Do you just come flailing in as Cthulhu?
This reminds me of a video I watched last week online.
I don't know. I guess just Bartholonude.
What is this?
I think he's weak to radiant.
Topher?
Yes.
I'm still referring to this person as Topher because it looks like Topher.
So let me touch on that for a second. Do you guys feel like this is Topher?
No.
So do you? Like, is that
I say Topher?
right? But what I'm asking, I know that's what you're referring to, but in your guys, like, does Bartholonude think that this is Topher? Like,
Bartholonude could elaborate on those thoughts, but all he's going to say in this moment is just to clarify.
Okay.
He said, I think he's weak to radiant. Then I'm going to say Topher?
Yeah.
To which I respond with yes. Yeah, because I Hamilton also thinks it's Topher.
okay. So you guys
Actually,
have.
that's a good idea.
Benedict does not think it's Topher. Benedict doesn't think Topher was ever good.
Benedict always thought he was a piece of shit anyway, and he's glad he's dead.
Both the character and the person who plays him.
I want to use Awaken. Oh, I thought that was a fart.
It was.
I want to use my Awakened Mind
Okay.
to try to probe this person's mind. I want to see if it's Topher,
Okay.
or if I can sense his presence. Kind of like how I did with his body.
Yes, and I will let you do that, but we're going to make a throw for it.
That's fine.
And that is going to need to be I guess I would be going against it. So I'd have to beat your spell save. But also, this character has advantage on any type of charm or mental impact. So let me pull up his statistics here. And what kind of save would that'd probably be you're a charisma build, so it'd probably be a charisma saving throw?
I would say so because my pact magic, all of my spells use a charisma modifier.
Okay, so I have advantage on this, so let's see how it goes. I don't think I have disadvantage. Well, I got a 9, and I have a +9 to my charisma saving throw.
So if it meets, it beats it, right?
Meets it beats, yeah. So you wouldn't have been able to gain that.
Okay. Well, I cast True Strike.
And that does what again?
That provides me advantage.
Oh, okay.
So if I count this as my first spell attack,
Would I do it 3 times and take the middle? I'm just trying to think about how it would.
well, if I had advantage, but you have to make a spell save, then wouldn't it just negate your advantage?
So, yeah. So then technically it was a 6, the first one, which would not have beaten the 18. So I'm fine with letting it go then.
Okay.
So let's say you try this. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting then. I like how this is playing out. So when this happens, you gain insight to what you are attempting to find. But what takes place is you're looking that direction, you cast this, you get what you're trying to find, you feel that like mental connection, and then as soon as that happens, you just see Velka just like whip around, and he is like very in tune to what you were doing. And what was it specifically you were trying to probe for?
I'm just trying to, like, pretty much the same thing I was doing with Topher's body. Like, I'm trying to see if Because Topher, especially, that's somebody that I communicate a lot with telepathically. So I'm just trying to see if, like, the fingerprint of his mind is there.
Make another Arcana check for me, because I would say you got in, and I want to be able to see, because like I said, this creature or individual or whatever you want to call it is in tune to the fact that you're there, and I want to see what happens once you're in.
Okay, so that's 15.
15? Okay. I would say with a 15, what you would, whenever you make this connection and he like whips around at you, I would say that you guys, like, you and Velka make eye contact through like this ash and like just foggy, or I should say smoky and ashy area, and you reach out to see if you could feel like what is like the Topher's fingerprint, and what you feel is something entirely different than what you're looking for. You don't feel Topher's fingerprint, but what you do feel is if what you sense from your familiarity with Topher, there are aspects of what you feel that are very similar to what Topher is. It doesn't feel like it's been there and it was like part of it. It feels like it was, thinking about it like a fingerprint, it feels like the DNA is the same. It's not part of it or mixed with it. It feels like it is it, but not it.
Okay.
All right, so Velka realizes what's happening, and he starts to walk towards you, and as he does, there's like this bubbling, gurgling lava like swoops and swooshes across the ground behind him and just kind of follows him, and it just engulfs everything as it moves forward, and kind of any kind of like rocks or broken crates and things like that that are on the ground, it kind of like goes over and it just like flattens out and smolders underneath of it as it kind of moves towards you guys. And Velka comes right up to the I guess I would say you, Bartholonude, first.
As he starts moving toward Bartholonude casts Crusader's Mantle, which makes holy power radiate out from him within a 30-foot radius. It awakens boldness in friendly creatures, and until the spell ends, the Aurora moves with me, centered on me. And while in the Aurora, each hostile creature in the Aurora deals an extra 1d4 radiant damage. Each non-hostile creature deals an extra 1d4 radiant damage when it hits with a weapon attack.
Okay, so that would mean that all three of you guys are... Well, do you get that as well?
Including me, yeah.
Okay, so all of you, keep in mind that any attacks you do gets an extra 1d4 radiant damage. So go ahead and mark that down. All right. So here's how this goes down. Bartholonude, do you want to give kind of what takes place here?
So yeah, Bartholonude sees Velka now moving toward him. As, Bartholonude's the closest one to Velka. And, this serpentine, fluid-like creature that's behind him has Bartholonude tense. This is the atmosphere currently sets no room for interpretation that something's about to go down. Everything's on fire, everything's destroyed around here. Velka just literally did something to Lokar. It looks like he killed Lokar, made him go away. The lava, the little boil thing, could be making things teleport somewhere because it's taking boxes and all that kind of stuff. So that's just like what's going through Bartholonude's head. And as Velka starts moving toward Bartholonude, he casts that Crusader's Mantle as a response to Hamilton giving him some telepathic insight into the potential weakness of this enemy, and to enable his friends to potentially win this encounter, to survive this encounter. So Bartholonude tightens his grip on his halberd, and he was standing with the tip of the halberd facing down toward the ground, and he swoops it over and he points at Velka, and he says, "Topher."
Okay, so whenever you do when you cast this light, what you do see is that whenever you cast it, Velka is like very taken aback, and he kind of like he kind of scoffs at it, and it's just like, and he goes back, and whenever you point your halberd at him and say this, he just falls and just disappears into this lava, and it just kind of bubbles up around him, and then it just kind of still just slowly morphs towards all of you. And as it does, and it spreads and becomes more like thinner, but just covers more ground, and it just starts to move in all directions. I'm sorry, what?
I just pictured Bartholonude's and gut reaction is to like put the tip of his halberd on the ground and then just balance himself on top of the halberd.
So it's not.
That's funny.
As it's moving towards you guys, it, like I said, it kind of feels like it's moving around you guys. It's not circling you. It's not lava, but it looks like lava and blood and like just an ooze that's just moving towards you guys. And it's actually moving quicker than you guys have ever seen this, because you guys all have seen this before. Yeah. You guys might even know what this is. But as it's moving towards you guys, it starts to move around, and Francis runs up from behind you guys as well, and just kind of says,
We must move back, move away from this. We have to get out of here.
And when she does this, she comes from behind. This goo continues to circle, and then you see from behind you, all of you, Velka springs up out of the ground here and throws Francis just across the courtyard, and you see Francis just hit what's left of the archway, and this ooze comes up out of the ground and just pins her down and just slowly is covering her up to her neck, and she is completely trapped. And everyone roll initiative.
Oh shit.
Mom!
That's a 10.
That's not
Or wait,
good.
do you get a dude? It's been so long since I rolled initiative.
Initiative is at the top of your
There is
character
a modifier, yeah, it's at the very top.
sheet. Hamilton, what did you roll?
A 3.
Benedict?
15.
Bartholonude?
4.
Okay. So, first in the order then is Velka. All right, so Velka has sprung up out of the ground behind you guys with this just bolsterous amounts of lava just bubbling around you, and it appears to go for probably 12 feet in all directions.
Unjumpable.
No, it's just I wouldn't say it actually spans more than just a few feet, so it's circling you, but it wouldn't be out of your abilities to try to get out of it. But you also don't know if it can move and morph, things like that. There's just a lot of unknowns, and you guys have seen this stuff do some pretty weird things. So what happens though is Velka springs up out of the ground behind you, out of this lava, and right after he throws Francis across the room, he looks down and he casts a spell. He casts Abi Dalzim's Horrid Wilting in the circle in which all of you are standing. And what this does is he draws moisture from every creature in a 30-foot cube, which would be all of you, centered on a point that he chooses within range, which would be, even though you guys are not standing all together, Bartholonude's a good bit away from you guys, he kind of places this in a way that would hit all of you guys. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw. So go ahead and make that.
Just a heads up, I think I'm going to have advantage on this.
As a 21.
15. No, 17.
21 for me.
Okay. So all of you save, but you still take half the damage. So let me roll this here real quick.
That'll be 150 damage.
Okay, so all of you take 25 damage from this.
God.
So there is now this like thick, like the ground around you, even though it's dirt, it like turns like almost black and like twisted in the dirt, and any plants that are there, they immediately begin to wilt. And this feels just, Bartholonude, as you're standing here, your scent begins to fill with that divine sense of just, it's like you are now standing on just wretched, unholy ground. But again, now that he's here, you have this light that's cast around you, and these things are creating this like Venn diagram. They're overlapping, and what you're seeing is, as this is happening, the plants and stuff that are in this like overlap have, even though there's not very many of them, you're just noticing this. They're like dying and then coming back to life like simultaneously while in this weird state that they're in with this spell.
What type of damage was that?
That is necrotic damage.
Okay.
So, now that is the end of Velka's turn, and when he does that, he is now standing behind Hamilton and Benedict, and probably, I would say, a good 15 feet away from you, Bartholonude. And then next in the order is Benedict.
Moonbeam! Level 5.
Benedict saying Moonbeam is the best.
All right, but Moonbeam at the 5th level, you have to make a Constitution saving throw of 17.
That fails. That's a 14.
Nice. All right, prepare to get fucked by radiant damage.
I'm ready.
Okay. 8. So that's 15
Radiant damage.
Yeah.
Okay. So it actually, whenever this hits, so it's the moonbeam, so there's like this flash of light that just gets called, and it almost seems like whenever this radiant light comes out, it's like some of it is pulled from Bartholonude's, like the power that he's like thrown down here, and it just like focuses and comes through your hands and shoots through Velka, and it actually does 22 damage.
Nice.
So, is that your turn, or do you have any bonus actions or anything?
I do have my attack with the sword. So how far am I away from him? Is he like within 5 feet?
I don't think he's within 5 feet, because if he was, he would have had an advantage on his attack as well.
All right, then I'm going to cast Thorn Whip. All right, so that's just a +9 to attack then. So...
Are you rolling against my AC? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, what did you roll?
An 18.
That hits.
And 3d6.
Damn. Really?
Yeah, it's +9 for my Thorn Whip.
Okay, what damage is it?
5, 7, 13.
13.
Yeah, just piercing damage.
Okay, so you hit him with the moonbeam, you hit him with the thorn whip, and he's feeling pretty down at the moment. Next up in the order is Bartholonude.
I cannot believe I'm next. I rolled a fucking 4.
He rolled a 3.
rolled a 3.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
So I'm pretty far. I'm pretty far from him. How far would you say I am from Velka?
I thought you were the closest one to her.
I was, but when she went down into her little thing and then came up behind the entire group.
Oh,
He-
yeah. So now you're the farthest.
So I would say you're probably like about 20 feet, maybe 22, 23 feet.
Okay.
A little bit over 20 feet.
And are there any are there any dead things around us?
You could...
I want to make something become undead.
Well, I'll probably be dead soon, so...
Give it some time.
Yeah. Where's Topher's body?
Oh, shit.
You know what? Here's what we're going to do.
Topher on Topher battle.
Make a insight check for me.
17.
All right. So Bartholonude, you step up and you are getting ready to take an action, and then out of the corner of your eye, you remember about a day ago, an eagle dropped the nobleman's body directly into this courtyard. and you look over to the left, just a little bit outside the range of where this like pool of lava is, and there is this decaying nobleman's body laying probably about 35 feet from you.
How far is that, though?
I just said 35 feet from you.
It's at least 35 feet.
Okay. And that
could
won't
probably
change.
jump it.
That won't
It could-
change, like if daylight savings is different. I don't know about speed. How far can I move in one action?
It'll say at the top.
That's your movement. Your movement speed
say
is how
speed.
far you can move.
So walking says 30 feet.
Yes. Also,
Okay.
if you want to use that spell, is there a range on it?
That's what I was just factoring in. So I can move 30 feet in one action. I'll move 30 feet over toward him, and then be able to cast this skill.
He's very near you. You can move your speed to go get to him and attack him.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm thinking of myself as 30 feet on the other side of a circle from where he's at.
No, you guys are all there. You're just about 15 feet away from Benedict and Hamilton, and
Okay.
he's behind Benedict and Hamilton. So you're
Yeah,
within.
then Bartholonude has to Beast King Blast. Bartholonude's going to run toward Velka and kind of do like a 3-foot quick sprint and then into a jump. And as he's jumping, he's twirling his halberd and he's going to slash it down onto Velka and say, Beast King Blast!
Okay. And then go ahead and do your attack roll on that.
That's not going to hit you. I rolled a 4. Even with my modifier, it's not going to beat your armor class.
What does your Thundering Smite do? Add damage, or does it?
I think it has to hit in order to add damage. So
Okay.
I don't think that's going to do anything.
Oh, 4. Man, that sucks. Okay. So that does not hit. Do you have a bonus action? or
Yeah, and
anything?
that bonus action, that's what I wanted, where I was wanting to cast that first spell I found, but
Yeah, if you can cast the spell as a bonus action, you could do that now. Because you are within range of him. You moved like right up within 5 feet, probably just right between the two, Benedict and Hamilton, and now you're standing there.
I think I might just have a bonus attack, extra attack. You can attack twice instead of once, so I'm just going to attack him again.
Okay. So you swing your halberd once,
Yep.
and then you miss. And
I
then
go
you
for the Beast King Blast and miss, and then after it passes by him, I quickly dart the halberd into the other direction and try for a second attack.
Okay.
And this one might actually hit you. So this is an 8. I rolled an 18, but I have a plus 1.
It's gonna hit.
So it's a 19.
It's definitely gonna hit.
And then the damage roll is 14 plus 2. Hold up. I'm pretty sure I have to add plus 2 because I have a.
It should tell you exactly what you add on your.
Well, these are
equipment.
other possessions. We don't have the custom items in here. So I have the golden lightning halberd, which gives me plus 3 to melee attacks and plus 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So I should have had another bonus on my roll, but it hit anyway. But plus 3 damage on top of that, so that's 17.
And do you add your 1d4 to your radiant hit?
Yeah, and the 1d4 to the radiant hit, which is 4. So that hits you for 14, 15, 17, 21.
Okay, so it actually hits you for 23 damage.
Oh, yeah,
is
because
what-
the extra 2 from the radiant crit.
Yep. So that is going to be a big oof.
And I hit with the halberd, so Thunderous Smite.
And what does that do?
2d6.
Oof.
Which I rolled a 1 and a 2, which only did 3 damage.
I mean, that's just extra damage, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that went from 24 to 27. Yeah, that's a pretty good attack for a single fucking halberd slash.
Yeah.
Not jab. And it's funny because it wasn't the Beast King Blast that did the damage. It's like I go at him all showboaty and I miss, and then I'm just like, okay. And then that hits him and does a lot of damage.
all right. So, next up in the order then is Hamilton.
Hamilton!
Ha-ha!
So they are now... He's now standing right next to him, so that changes things for me. So I will do... Let me see here. So now that I am a higher level, I'm going to cast the old Eldritch Blast, and I get 3 beams now.
Hey, nice. So you got to roll for each of those, right?
I do, yeah. Each one is a different roll.
All right.
So go for the first boy. That is going to be a 10. Or a 10. A 20, not nat.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to roll the other two now.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
then-
Yeah, for sure.
21. And another 20.
Okay. All 3 of those hit.
Boop. Okay, so 8, 7, and 8. All right. So 23.
23.
Yeah.
Damage?
23 damage.
Big oof. All
Man,
right.
weird ones
Any-
and damage to this did.
Don't I add something extra to my Blumpkin staff? Because it's been so long since I did since we've done like combat where I had power.
I think it's I think.
Isn't
but
there
I
like
think
a
it's,
D4
No.
for fire?
So it has an extra fire damage. Yes, it has a 1d4 fire damage, but you also now have a +2 to all of your attacks. So
Because of my cloak.
yes,
My
the
robe,
Archmagi.
the Archmagi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's to hit. That's not damage.
Yes, but there's an extra fire.
But I think I need to roll a D4 now for my fire damage.
Yes.
And will that be 1 for each beam?
Yes, it would be.
2, 3, and a 1. So 7 fire damage.
7. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
That is, yeah.
So
Oh, wait, and I'm sorry.
Great.
I said that was it, but there's effects that I didn't take account. I also repel him 30 feet away
okay.
because it's 10 feet per blast.
All right. So Velka gets moonbeamed. He gets hit with a halberd, and then he gets shot 3 times with an Eldritch Blast, and then he just gets rocketed out of this circle that you all are standing in.
Get fucked,
And just kind of slides just like across the ground, and he just picks himself up off the ground very slowly, and he is extremely bloodied. He has just like this black ooze like running out of his nose, and he's just cut up, and he stands up and just kind of like cracks his neck and just like starts to slowly walk back towards you guys, and he begins to speak.
It's been some time. It's clear I've underestimated my foe. I will not make that mistake again.
And as he gets towards you guys, he descends, like as he's walking, he steps into this like pool of lava, and as he's like walking, he just disappears into the lava in front of you. And then across the battlefield, there is a tall creature that is very human-like that steps out of... He's just covered in this lava. He's like a lava creature, very similar in height to him and to what Velka is, and he just kind of steps out onto the battlefield, the circle that you guys are in, on the opposite side of where he descended in, and it begins walking towards you.